Good morning. It is 7 o'clock, more or less. Yeah, I know. And that was Michiel. And we're in Bletchley at the Swan, a beautiful local bar and sleepery pub. Apparently here in the England one says pub. It says the Swan Bar, I think, doesn't it? We'll look it up. You look it up. And we're gonna have a nice breakfast. And then apparently, according to Michiel, we're walking to Marshall and gonna meet the nice marketing and R&D team and see what happens. But first, breakfast.
Imagine a life without fear. Imagine your eyes without tears. Imagine a world without sorrow, my dear. Imagine a place without time. Mistakes that we made left behind. Wanna get your face and I know you don't mind. But hey girl, this is a different world.
Now we're taking a brisk early morning walk in Bletchley. After on Saturday we went to the Abbey Road Studios and took the obligatory picture of the sidewalk. No, the crosswalk. Sidewalk, not crosswalk. We were standing on the sidewalk as we took the picture of the crosswalk, and then went to the cheese bar and had cheese. Because that's what you do. Yeah, cheese. It's
Hooray!
Sunday we made our way to Milton Keynes and visited the Sci-Fi Museum, where we nerded out like little boys. I took selfies, which I never do. And now we had a good hearty English breakfast. And we are walking down the road to the Marshalls peoples.
Imagine a life without fear. Imagine your eyes without tears. Imagine a world without sorrow, my dear.
Is this running, Michiel? I guess it's running. Hello, people. I'm here at the Marshall place, as we say in the Sherman. Steve, and you've been here recently only, right? You're a new hire.
I'm a new hire. I started in 1985.
1985. So you've seen a few things. You've met a few people.
I've met some.
You've played a few amps.
I can't play guitar. I never learned. But the first day I was here, I was taught how to build cabs by Jim Marshall himself.
That's like you work for Starbucks and you don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
Do you play any instrument?
No, I did 22 years setting up a stage.
Okay, well, that's... You're one of us then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I worked here every day and then went to a venue every night.
Holy crap.
For 22 years.
We're looking at quite a few Marshalls.
Yep.
And of course, I mean, the prettiest one of all, I mean, come on. This is
the Sex Pistols. So this was used on the latest reunion.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, about a month ago. There's the two in the corner with the skull on and the one underneath it. They're both date from 1979. So they were used by Motorhead from 79 onwards.
Someone had some fun with the logo there.
That was Lemmy.
He didn't take himself too seriously.
No, he was famous for customising all his cabs. So, and then the one above it is Jim Roots from Slipknot.
Is there a black logo or is it Sharpie?
No, it's a proper black logo.
Because from here it looked like he actually just Sharpied it in.
No, we do two different versions. We do a large black logo and a mini logo. So, and then we have Zakk Wylde's signature series that looks a bit different to the normal one.
Oh, that looks very different.
Yeah, that is in 2010.
And that's this like Jeff Beck, who apparently is also some guitar player from somewhere.
Yeah, these are one of the signed Jeff Beck one, and then there's one above it, which we only made for Jeff Beck. It never went into production. We made 3 of them.
The JBM30?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we just made 3 of them for him to use, and he used them on one tour. We've got this replica of the Jimi Hendrix stack. That's the signature series we've done for the Hendrix.
This is just 212.
Yeah, and this was actually used by Eric Clapton.
So Slav, that's technically someone who played Marshall, but does he still? We don't know. The story is still up for grabs.
This is the first signature head that we ever made.
Is that based on an 800?
No, it's based on the 2 treble 5/8 the Silver Jubilee.
Because that's what he used
It's what he used.
on the Appetite for Destruction.
No, he used an amp called number 34 on the Appetite for Destruction, which was a lone amp that he
Okay.
that had been modded. The one at the top there is the second ever signature series. So he's the only artist to ever have 2 signature series. And that is the one called the AFD 100, which is based on the actual amp that he used to record Appetite for Destruction. The white one is the Randy Rhoads signature. So that was based on the amp that Randy Rhoads used to use. And then the one in front is the YJM, which is the Yngwie Malmsteen's signature.
How are they different from a standard Plexi?
This one has literally got everything you could think of inside it.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you lift it up, it looks pretty plain at the front. When you get it around the back,
Oh, okay.
he's got the lot. And the reason it's so big,
It's got a gate and a reverb and a built-in boost. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
I think it also had noise reduction and everything.
Yeah.
And the reason it's so big is he wanted it to be the size of a Marshall Major, which was the 200 watt amp we brought out in the 70s. Then this is the only ever signature cab we made. So normally we offer an artist a signature series. We did this one for Dave Mustaine, and he asked if he could have a signature cab.
Okay.
So it's when it's built, it's completely airtight. Normally you can take the paddle board out and swap it over. With this one, it's part of construction. So he came over here for a week, telling us what he wanted, and we worked on it. Then when we come to do production, he came over for another week, and he actually built that one. So it was built, he went in the wood mill.
He did it himself?
Yeah, with his set of overalls on. He went in the wood mill and done the cab, he covered it. And then the photo is him finishing with me, physically building it.
And then he left it here?
Yeah. And then we sold it. It went off to NAMM. And we found out was done as a charity prize. And then we managed to get it back to Lusher. We found it come up on eBay. And we brought it back.
Okay, that's a way cool story.
Yeah.
See, now you got me. Now you got me. Come on, how special is this?
These go to 11.
Wait till you walk around the front of it.
Is this like a signature thing? Obviously. No way. They actually go to 11.
Yeah, they actually used these. So when they became a real band, they did actually use that.
What do you mean became? They were always a real band.
When they doing it live, they actually did.
Do you want to realize something nerdy at this exact moment?
What?
flip the camera around, Nigel Tufnell's shirt. It's one he wears in the movie.
Nerd.
There's the Spinal Tap guitar. Jackson made 30 of them after the film for charity.
So this is a decadent leather
This
something.
is their 40th anniversary. It's called the Jaguar. It's actually got a Jaguar car logo on embossed on the front of it. For our 40th anniversary, we made 40 of these. Jaguar cars did all the upholstery. So they actually, it is Jaguar leather.
And they only show up in some guy's living room.
Yeah.
Okay, we're losing the rock and rolliness a bit. Oh, God. An actual golden, real gold foot switch?
Yep.
How much was this?
I can't remember how much it was because the first 10 we gave away to different artists. And then the rest of them we sold for charity.
What charity shows up a lot in this tour? So it seems that you've done quite a bit over the years for charity.
But we do a lot of it. We don't go on about it. It was just Jim would always give to charities, local charities, but he never announced he was doing it.
Who played the first distortion? Because that was pretty much taking an amp into regions that it wasn't supposed to be taken in. And all of a sudden, oh, we've got this new thing that is undesirable, but we kind of like it.
Yeah.
So that happened with, what amp do you think that was?
That was the JTM 45, the first one.
Okay.
Which is the glass case. If you look at the one in the glass case, that is number one.
That is number one. Let's go to amp number one.
Yeah. This is the first one we put out in the shop in, I think it was September 62.
Doesn't even have knobs. Can't be worth much.
And we sold 23 in one day. But they'd only made one because it was only made to order like we are now. So, and this one was actually brought back before we moved down here in 66. The person that owned it actually brought it back to part exchange it for another version.
Okay.
Yeah. So luckily Jim kept having it.
Wow. That's something very special to have.
Yeah.
I'm hard to impress with guitar gear, but that's cool.
And we've also got one of the second batch over there. It's not ours. This was owned by Ken Brown, who was our electrical director. He put this on eBay in 2014 and it comes to £300,000.
Ooh.
So he took it off eBay and then brought it in here and asked us to look after it. So it's not ours. Unfortunately, Ken passed away a few years ago. So it's now his son's. So
he didn't sell it?
no. Instead of selling it, he brought it into us to let us look after it for him.
But this is an 812. Nobody should have an 812. Daniel Ringel from Lichtlam Audio, you shouldn't have an 812. This line, which is relatively new and Marshall came out with fairly recently, how many years? 6 years? 5, 6 years?
Yeah, about 6 or 7 years.
Now this line was brilliant. So Marshall has done stuff in the past few years. And if you've ever played an SV28, this is mind-blowingly good and under $1,000. If you're, of course, in Europe, if you're in America, you should have luck. Silver Jubilee, I've reviewed it. Great. Small JCM, absolutely killer. This actually ruined my hearing for 6 months. So I haven't tried this, but I'd like to. Obviously, this is how they're really making their money. I do have to say, I really like the small ones. They look very nice with the toe legs.
Yeah. So this is what his original amp looked like.
I think that looks better than the other one.
Yeah, this was in his backline. This one was in his backline for about 15 years. And then when he changed his look, he signed this over to Jim. So that's why it says Dad Rules.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because that's what he used to call Jim Dad. So right, we'll go into the factory.
Farewell, my lover. We let the final curtain fall. I guess it's not the real thing after all. So long, I'm leaving. Thanks a lot for all the fish. If only where the magical swish you could grant my last wish. Imagine a life without fear. Imagine your eyes
So now that you saw all that, let me report what I can without breaking any confidentialities. One of the reasons I went was because I said Marshall will fail, and what's the current state of Marshall, nobody knows, and kind of to report to you on what the current state of Marshall is as far as I'm allowed to tell you. So early in the morning at 8:30, we had a video chat with Jeremy, the new CEO, who's Swiss and apparently is an ex-professional snowboarder. And then somehow got into Vans company and had to build up things there and bring them to the forefront of, so that people would wear those shoes that weren't snowboarders and skateboarders. And he talked a lot about building community, and I really liked that. The guy's cool, did cool shit. I don't necessarily know if he's on the right track comparing it to Vans, because what he told me was that when they were ready to bring Vans to a wider audience, they had all these displays at Foot Locker, and then the skateboard guys were writing him and congratulating him on bringing it to a wider audience, and how cool is that we are now having a bigger stage for the things we love. I don't know if guitar players, when they look at the headphones and the Bluetooth speakers, are going to say, oh, that's so great that now all these kids are embracing Marshall, and that we now have a bigger stage for this amp brand logo. I kind of think that it's a different world.
This is a different world.
Heard the song? Campaign Like Clockwork? That's the band. It's a different world. I just thought of this. I wasn't planning that. So anyway, I think we live in a different world where when, the rocker who plays Marshall sees someone walking around with Marshall headphones, probably thinks, you little idiot, you don't even know what that is. You're just trying to be hip, you poser. So I don't know if it's a direct comparison. I know where he wants to go. He wants to bring, they already have those Bluetooth speakers and headphones. They have been around for a while. So I don't think that they're going wrong with that. But I don't know if the parallels hold true. But that's beside the point, because even though he is beholden to probably shareholders and investors and all that stuff, and he has to tell me certain things like, we're listening to you, and we're doing everything we can to make sure the amps stay relevant and pouring money into it. Those might be things he has to tell people from the media. But generally, seemed like a cool guy. And I was honest with him. I said, we saw JC at Gibson coming from Levi's. Similar story. And he seemed cool. We believed him. And then they started suing the pants off everyone else and doing the, Play Authentic video. And I told him about this. And all we can do is kind of gauge him and see, what kind of guy he is. And then see where it goes. What was impressive to me and Michiel was he did know all the names of all the people at Marshall that he's dealing with. Or actually everyone. He wasn't a distant CEO. Pretty impressive. He knows who's doing the job. And everyone at Marshall said, they're giving us free reins. All the things we weren't able to do over the years, where we were told, oh, that's not going to sell, or that's going to break the price point, or whatever, that's not there anymore. They're going for what they're passionate about. They're going for things that they think is cool. And I like that. You could really feel energy. You could feel passion.
More passion, more passion, more passion, more energy, more energy.
And the most important thing is the people that I met, whether it was marketing, R&D, or Terry Marshall, the T in JTM, who's around 80, but I met him and his lovely wife, Leslie, and they're still showing up. They're checking on the new stuff because it's their name. And what I said is, it's weird because there was this interview with the new CEO in Guitar World, and that started this whole conversation I'm like, why don't we see those people? Why don't we see Terry on Tone Talk with Dave Friedman? Why don't we see the R&D people and all these people speaking out, saying, we're here, we're doing our thing, and we're excited about it. We're working on new things. So yes, new things are coming next year. I can't talk about it. They are not as modern and revolutionary as we might want, but they're doing it bit by bit. I can tell you this. What I've seen that's coming out next year, you want. I want badly. Some of it is in a price range where you really want it, but you might not be able to afford it because it is massively cool. Yeah. But what they're doing is going to make people say, yeah, hell's yeah, way cool. And that's what we need. And the really revolutionary stuff that shows that Marshall is going along with the times, I don't know, I haven't seen, but I'm pretty sure they're working on. So I think they're going to come back with a medium-sized bang, and they're working on the big bang. In all price ranges, they're going to be relevant again, because the people behind it, even though it might be a new team, it's a good team. It's a passionate team.
More passion, more passion.
It's a team that's allowed to do what needs to be done for Marshall. Now, walking in there was interesting because the whole entrance, the whole lobby, everything kind of seems frozen in time. It's not like the Marshall Group, because it's all brand new. That's like a year now that they are the Marshall Group. Has poured, millions in there to make it look fancy. And that Marshall Museum, or that tour that you saw, that stuff's just sitting there. It's not a museum. They could make this into a museum. Put some clothing and pics and other shit next to it and take money. They could. But what I saw was family atmosphere. It's like, we're still the old company we were in the 60s. We're doing this. Here's the Jeff Beck amp. Zero. And that's what I always thought about Marshall. That they were we're better than everyone else because we have these artists and we don't really need to talk to YouTubers. That was kind of the feeling I got. But I saw zero arrogance. I saw zero snootiness. It's like, yeah, we haven't really modernized the building and we're finding ourselves. But there was just not even the slightest air of, look who we've worked with, who the fuck are you? None of that. And I give them major props for that. It has changed my image of Marshall drastically. Good people. I think the CEO has got the heart in the right place, puts the money in the right place to keep Marshall as an amp company relevant. To the Marshall fans out there, all I can say is I think there are things coming that you will love the shit out of. Whether or not you can afford it, we'll see. But there's also something coming in a much, much lower price range. So we'll see. And then a really much lower price range. I can't talk about it. But NAMM is going to bring some interesting stuff. I hope that I can review it all. I hope that me and my friends on YouTube now actually have some relationships at Marshall so that you see it on independent channels and not just at Thomann, Sweetwater, and Anderton's. We know they have to get those products, but I hope that with my connections on YouTube, we can help Marshall build a nice network of channels that they want to work with that might be super cool. And I have a lot of hope for this company. And honestly, I have a lot of hope that the relationships I started building there with those people will turn into friendships. And if you know me in any way, if you've met me, you know that matters a lot more than getting an amp, getting paid for a video, or any of that. I have jobs to do. I have amps. I would love to see the people at Marshall as friends. And when Terry Marshall gives you a hug, going out, that wasn't to schmooze me or that's just how he wants to say goodbye to someone he just met. That meant the world to me. That's my impression, and it's an honest one. I keep you apprised of any developments, but I'm now connected with a whole bunch of people that were all really involved and passionate about what they do.
Aye, more passion, more passion, more passion, more energy, more footwork, more.
Way cool. So will Marshall fail as an amp brand? Now with the new investors and the new stuff that I saw, and then the stuff that's coming like way down the line, which is still very rough. We'll see how they're gonna fare against the competition. I have a feeling that with the stuff that's coming out at NAMM, they'll at least have something to show some of the diehard fans, hey, we're still here and kicking. So that's all I can say. It was a fun trip. Thanks, Michiel, for hanging out and helping me film and all that stuff. And the cheese barge. I'm going to show you some pictures of the cheese barge because we met with Charlie from Orange and Jake Lee and Lewis from LT Guitars, and we had so much cheese that we could barely move. What an amazing end for that evening. We actually cut our Marshall meeting short to get to the cheese, which was dumb, but we did it. So that being said, animals at the end.